It's moving slow. Uh, what's going on here? Oh, there we go. Okay. Hey guys, we're live. We got Rion DeRouen here. Our intro's gonna play. We'll get started. And
all right. What up, brother? Namaste and like catch. How you doing, Rob?
oh, dude, I'm so excited to have you on the show, man. Let me give you a proper introduction, guys. I knew about Rion before the Full Disclosure Now conference, but then I got to meet him at the Full Disclosure Now conference, and let me just tell you guys, like, Rion had the absolute best presentation at the Full Disclosure Now conference. I was front row. I watched the
Thanks,
whole
bro.
thing, it was amazing, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Let me just read your bio and give you a proper introduction. So my guest today is Rion DeRouen. For you guys who might not be familiar with him, Rion is the founder of Team Light. Rion has been working as a planetary guardian since in his DNA activation in 2009. Upon receiving genetic upgrades, he was granted the ability to communicate with higher selves and interdimensional beings. His third eye is fully operational, allowing him to see beyond the veil of 3D reality. With his mission set, he spent 6 years traveling the globe and activating, gridding and clearing dozens of sacred sites, including Easter Island, Machu Picchu, the pyramids of Giza, and many more. With the help of his higher selves, he became an expert in energetic alchemy and began creating light tools and pyramids specifically designed for energetic healing production. Due to the advent of Wi-Fi, his tools have become an absolute necessity. Rion's utmost goal is to aid the collective in consciousness and shifting to a higher frequency of existence. And with all that said, I'd like to give him a big warm welcome to the show. Rion, thanks so much for coming on for the first time. How are you, brother?
Hey, good. I'm excited, and you know what? It's time for all of us to kind of get together. Everyone who has, integrity, a big heart, and is actually doing the work to uplift humanity, like, we need to support one another. And I just feel that, Rob, being on your show, like, 100% in your corner, and, getting the real information to the people and the real disclosure stuff. And a lot of the people, I did take a look at a lot of the people you've interviewed, and there's a lot of very gifted, talented, beautiful, divine souls, and that's really, what we represent here at Team Light, and, all of our friends and family watching wherever you are across this beautiful planet. We do need kind of a team huddle for a lot of the stuff that's going on. We do need some positive reinforcement and a different perspective on things, because all the stuff that's going on in the States and globally, it seems very doom and gloom, but we're here to remind the people that there is an equal and opposite reaction to a lot of this negativity, and because we are a part of this new golden age, and we are those that were really sent down here to deal with some of these, turbulent times, and just to remind people that we signed up to be the light in the darkness on this planet.
I agree. So when did it all start for you? Like, how did you accept this mission, and like, what made you take this on?
Okay, so this is cool. This is what I like. Okay, so in 2009, my third eye was activated. I taught myself this candle technique. I basically was staring at a candle, and then I started staring at the subspace around where the candle was burning. It's a very small, like almost like a 0.5 millimeter. And I would just focus on that. And I basically slowly turned on my third eye over a period of 8 months. But I was back in 2008, I started doing that. And then in 2009, my third eye turned on my 29th birthday at 2:38 p.m. in Manhattan Beach, California. And basically, like, what does it look like? It's like the veil was pulled off. And I could see all the beings staring around me. I could see the Atlantean type beings in robes, waving at me. It was like, I felt like I woke up out of, I don't know if it was the Matrix, or I woke up out of this, this alternate reality we've all been living. And since then, I was trained by my higher selves. And they basically, I really didn't wake up. I was activated. That's might be a little different for a lot of starseeds out there. Some of us all of a sudden, a certain, it could have been 2015 for you, 2012 for you, some sort of big alignment. Some people have been awake since the last great convergence. It's just something that happened where once it happened, I couldn't go back to sleep. It wasn't like per se just like a Kundalini awakening. This was something that once my third eye turned on, it has not shut off for the last 15 years, since almost 16 years now. So
yeah, and that led you to go, I guess, tour the world. And you went to like some sacred sites and started like doing grid work and activations and stuff like that.
Yeah, so basically my higher self first. When I woke up, I was in film school, and My higher selves, I was basically playing this, like, I didn't say anything to anyone. I kind of kept it under wraps. I was still in film school. I was still a college student at that time. And, I had this like alternate life where like I would play 3D during the day. Then as soon as I would go home from school or college, I would be in my multidimensional training. My higher selves were waiting for me in my backyard. They taught me how to open and close wormholes. They taught me all kinds of, different ways how to interact with the holographic field. Looking back on it too, and just to give everyone a heads up, like my third eye came on in 2009, but my throat chakra didn't turn on till about 8 or 9 months after the fact. So the first parts of me waking up was seeing my higher selves there going like, hey, you watch me. And like, kind of like monkey see, monkey do. It wasn't like, oh, all your gifts came on at the same time. No. It was my eyes, then it was my hands, and then eventually it was my throat chakra. And for me personally, my heart didn't really turn on fully until 2015. Just because some of the stuff that we were cleaning up behind the scenes, it probably wasn't the best thing for my inner child to personally experience. So I think that, when I kind of did that run, for everyone who doesn't know, when I was activated in 2009, I was gone every 60 days on 60 days until 2015, 2016, nonstop. So every 60 days, I was somewhere on the planet, on a grid line, on an ancient location. I was 60 days on, 60 days off during that time. I believe a lot of the stuff, looking back on it, was adjusting timelines and closing dark portals, which had been used to kind of keep a lot of humanity at a certain frequency. So, in a very humble way, I would say I'm kind of like a planetary Reiki master or a galactic plumber. That's what me and my boy Tone say. Like, what is it really? We go to sacred locations. We go to places. My specialty was in soul transport. So after, I developed my skill set and training every single day for quite some time with my higher selves in the mountains here in Sedona, when I had to move out of the city, mind you. It was a lot of due diligence, and it was a lot of fear tests. It was a lot of training to get me to a certain level where I could actually be operational. A lot of people have gone through similar things, and there's a lot of beautiful grid workers, light warriors out there on this earth that can resonate with me. The main thing was, given certain levels of power and abilities, how are you going to use them? To this date now, I mean, even when I just got back from Ireland, we did a big cleanup over there and arrested some bad guys in the fourth dimension and above, energetically, obviously, and some rhetoric in 3D. But the main thing I can say is like really how I want to operate down here and what type of being I want to be. And for everyone that's going through those tests right now, to remember that, if you lean too far into the polarization of the night side, or I call it my right side, or that, the dark side, let's just say, if you go lean too far on the dark side of the force, this is what you lose. You lose your innocence. You lose your joy. You lose your happiness. And the main thing that gets us is the resentment. And you lose the reason of why you want to be here in the first place. You start seeing this entire incarnation as a job. And you're like, yo, like my job's over. Like wrap this up. You're no longer participating with the rest of humanity. You're doing a job. It's like you jumped off a starship, incarnated into a suit. You did your job. And now you're like, all right, now come get me. You know what I mean? Like, what does it feel like? It's like you did a contract for a job. And once the job is over, you're like, okay, well, I don't want to participate anymore. But the truth is, we're just getting warmed up with the beauty and awesomeness on this planet. And a lot of us have earned our space, earned our creative imagination to be felt on this planet and truly bring heaven to earth. So that's why you have to stay in your heart side, because you can't see the great gifts our Creator has bestowed upon us, because you're always living in, a more of a lower frequency, like you're doing a job. So that's taken me a long time. A lot of my friends and family can attest. When I get back from missions, I am very hot on what I saw there. It's almost like I'm an observational observer. I go into different locations, and regardless of the story they tell about these locations, I just have my own interpretation of what's really going on there. And a lot of the stuff I've seen is a lot of cleanup stuff, but I also see a bright future for humanity as long as we can get through these times. You know, these are big choice points. We had a big choice point 4 years ago with the jibby jab stuff. We had a big choice point coming up with the AI stuff. We have a big choice point coming up politically right now, financially right now. There's choice points all over the place. All I can say is for everyone out there, staying in your heart and being a good person through these storms is actually the true testament of a real angelic in the flesh. You want to call yourself a real angelic in the flesh, then be that beacon of light. Be that person in North Carolina with a pickup truck full of water, not listening to these jackasses saying you can't take the dirt road to go help people. Get up there and help people. You know,
exactly.
Get up there, you know, like, you know, God, you know, you got to meet God halfway. So I think and there are people doing that, mind you. I've heard a lot of reports come out of, I have friends in Carolina calling me. Like, I'm getting real up-to-date stuff. What are they doing? So I'm just trying to say the integrity, yes, absolutely, Cherry. It's the integrity of what everyone's doing and why you do it. And to really talk the talk, listen, ladies and gentlemen out there across this earth, like, there's been a lot of talking. What I feel for most of us out there and us true star seeds, the 144, the angelic, the Azarites, is that we are people of action. So I feel like, Rob, you know, when you get up in the morning and you don't feel too good, but you're interviewing somebody and those words that someone's, you know, you're interviewing help someone. You know what I mean? Like, God, I never saw it from that perspective. We are all doing our part in raising the frequency of this planet. And say that's the mojo we got to stay in. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like, I was going to say, I saw you've actually done a lot of collaborations with people that I've done collaborations with. Like, I know you're really good friends with Tony Rodriguez, and you've had Sean Bond on recently. I think Sean's coming on my show tomorrow.
Sean's fire. I love Sean. Sean is like, I said, he's the, if I'm Vegeta, he's Goku. He's the happier version. And like I said, it's crazy the stuff we have to go through. Mind you, how he got all this information and all the times he was messed with and how he had to hack his way out, right? It's sometimes we have adversity in our lives to learn how to overcome it and then share it with other people so they don't have to go through the same turmoil we went through. And then that's how we help one another.
And I guess that's how we're way showers, right? Mm-hmm. That's why they label our generation way showers, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, God doesn't ever give us, or our creator never gives us a job that we are incapable of doing. Every single one is in this stream. Every single person that will watch this video for years to come. It's important to know that you are strong enough to deal with whatever is thrown at us. And you really are the chosen ones, you know, and that's something I want to say, like, to be awake right now, be aware right now, still be positive with them pumping all this negativity at us. And you still wake up with a smile on your face, you're some of the strongest beings that walk the earth, straight up. Like, people need to say that more often. You are by far the strongest beings which walk the earth, to still wake up with a smile on your face and still be productive. I mean, I woke up this morning, weird stuff's all over the place. I woke up and started sanding pyramids and like shaping. I was like shaping pyramids, turning on plasma devices. I just stay in my zone, put my music on, and I'm like, hey, whatever this world is, we will survive this storm. My eye is on the future. My eyes, I should say, right? What are we doing? How we get there? How are we going to live together? Like, what is the best outcome for all of us? How do we create spaces, frequencies, just the right vibe? And that is where my focus is 24/7, 365. This place tries to pull you down. That's fine. But, you know, remembering your age, remember why you came here. We were the ones that were sent in here to adjust the entire plane of existence in the physical. So people kind of needed to take that responsibility back from some of these jackasses that do not have the right to rule us. And you actually have to understand that. And unfortunately, your parents might not believe it. Your grandparents might not have believed it. We believe it right now. It's our job to protect these kids and the future generations and to let them know, hey, I'm sorry, but this ain't the 60s, 70s, and 80s. This isn't we're getting sucked into another world war. They've done this before. In the 60s, the love generation, that generation could have made it. What did they do? Vietnam. And then drafted all the 18-year-old kids who were here to change the world and put them in the most crazy environment ever, right? And I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. You start to see the cyclical balance of how these beings control us. And some of us are very hip to this. And I just want to be real. Like, we're not letting this planet, we don't trust the beings in charge. And they do not have our sovereign right to rule us. And in a lot of ways, we outrank them all the way up their food chain. Like, I can tell you personally, I've stared at people's soul stacks and their oversouls. Some of us outrank the world leaders on this planet, point blank. But we have to sit back and observe. But mind you, it's time to take some actions on how we can adjust the polarity positively back into balance. That's all I'd like to say about that.
There's so many stuff I'd love to retort with that. Well, for the first thing I would say is, like, I'm an empath. Like, and I heard you say that the other day, like, in your show with Sean, you were like, you know, I know you said something like, I know you empaths are feeling it. And I was, because, like, it was weird, man. It was like the war in the Middle East was popping off, and then North Carolina and Georgia and Tennessee happened, and I was like, oh, fuck, man. I know it's weather manipulation.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, almost like,
they're pushing the hurricane in directions. I'm like, what is going on here, you know?
Yeah, and I was like, there's no way that an eye of a hurricane could go that far inland and, like, lift the river 30 feet up in the air. Like,
well, now they're doing mass evacuations in Florida. What is this really? Is this really over the election? I mean, North Carolina and Florida is red states. Those aren't blue. Yeah. What are they doing? What is this really about? You know, just to be, I don't even want to get this video banned or blocked, but I experienced some stuff, you know, back in 2020, right? The last time they kind of stole the election type stuff. Check this out. I remember the line of cars voting for Trump went from Tucson, Arizona, all the way to Phoenix, which is a 2.5 hour drive, was lined with Trump supporters. Biden rented out the conference center in downtown Phoenix. There was like 26 people showed up. Imagine renting out the entire convention center and 26 people showed up to vote. People on the earth don't know this. There was a line 2.5 hours long for Trump supporters. And then the governor of Arizona is a Democrat? No way. I'm just trying to tell you guys, this whole shenanigans with Dominion and the voting, it's real. Like, I mean, if you were there on the ground and you go, there's no way Trump's not going to win Arizona, and there's no way Trump's not going to win. They stole that election. And I just wanted to be upfront and clear with everyone, 100% stole that election.
It's not just that, but, like, I just want to say they do stuff to, like, they've been doing stuff to screw him the entire time. It's crazy. Like, you can tell they actually have something against him. And then I was just wanting to say this, like, I went to my friend. I'm not very political, you know what I mean? But, like, I'm kind of pro Trump, like, because I'm hoping that he can make change. But, like, as far as, like, politicians, I'm like, no, you know, forget that. But,
I'm not getting into the political thing. I was just stating what I observed. Like, listen, Trump, you know what I'm saying? Trump's not here as the ultimate savior. And yes, it's a better option than what's going on, but I'm not going to get pulled into some weird trap where it's like, oh, you voted for Trump. I mean, we got to watch Elon, right? We got to watch some of these guys. Like, I'm not dumb. I get it. You know, I see the game plan running out on, you know, two wings of the same bird. You know what I mean? Left and right, it's the same bird. We need to go after the bird that actually is trying to control the entire consciousness of this planet. I
agree. And when I'll tell you, I went to a Trump rally here, and it was in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. My friend drugged me to it, and there was, like, honestly, dude, there was like over 12,000 people. There was like a 4-hour line. Like, you have to go 4 hours early just to, like, get in. It's that crazy. It's like, and all the people there, they're just like us. They want freedom, and they want the old America back. They don't want to be pushed with all these agendas and, like, this wokeness and, like, all this craziness they're shoving in our face. You know what I mean? It's like, so it's like, why wouldn't I vote for Trump? You know, it's like, I mean, I don't know. It's like,
not to get into this, because here's the deal about the political stuff. It ruffles a lot of people's feathers. All I'm trying to say is that whoever shows up, I mean, I liked Robert Kennedy Jr.
I like him a lot too.
Hey, dude. And I was like, why don't you just, like, here's my thing. Like, Vance? I'm like, the guy has some weird company connections. Why wouldn't it just be Trump VP, Robert Kennedy Jr.? And then everyone's like, and that's an overwhelming avalanche. Like, I don't know why you didn't put that together. Now, there is things in this scripted thing where apparently Vance supposedly is going to step down, and they were going to do that. Like, there's all kinds of weird. This whole thing has become military and strategic. That's what people need to really get. It ain't what they're pumping on the mainstream. This whole thing is, as soon as that coup happened, this entire political thing has become a military operation. And that's what people need to kind of go, wait, what? They're not going to show you what they're doing. They're not going to show you all the things going on behind the scenes. As soon as they switched on that version of our military to go, okay, we're addressing this now, things have changed. So I'm just trying to say, a lot of the information I get is like military type stuff. It's not civilian. It's not political. It's like what's really going on. So I just think that for all of us to kind of steer clear of these guys and call them out, and just be like, hey, you know what? Is that really your best option? I just feel that there are better options out there. But like I said, there are people that can't be purchased. And that is something that people need to pay attention to. So a lot of these people, you give them, $20 million, they'll do whatever you say. We're not from that. We're not cut from that cloth. We needed to hang out with the people that actually want the best for the people, not only in the United States, but for this world. And we need to get rid of this regiment of these controlling factions, which, to be honest with you, what I have seen energetically are some of the laziest bloodlines on this planet. I just energetically, some of these guys were the imagine an ascension happening. I don't know. Let's just be something casual. Imagine the last ascension was maybe right after Yeshua was here. Let's just say, okay. And I know that, the ascension process takes a lot of incarnations, and I understand that, every 26,000 years, split that up into 4 segments. And, I do know that there are beings that only show up here, 4 times every 26,000 years to do an assessment of the population based upon the lower dimensional beings evolving and them, growing beings' consciousnesses to experience different things. Okay, that being said, but what I'm trying to get to is the time and space that I remember, like Atlantean times and some of in the Lemurian times, I feel like a lot of it, and even where are all the people in the Maya? 20 cities of 20 million people, no bodies, no bones.
They disappeared.
Yeah,
right?
So what I'm trying to say is these ascensions or resets happen a lot more than they'd like you to think. Okay, because if you knew it was a game, you would have like this other, intuition to be on your best behavior. You wouldn't show the true version of yourself, right? I just feel like the beings that were left down here to govern were some of the worst beings that ever existed, and they're the ones that didn't graduate last time.
Yeah.
I feel like the ones that... it's the only thing that makes sense to me. The beings that did not graduate last time were the ones that survived and had these weird families and then took all the money and went underground and built... It just feels like, honestly, it was the lowest of the low that was left down here while the rest of us ascended to a higher dimension. And now we're back here as the post-graduating class, helping the next graduating class get through this soup that the people that didn't graduate last time have created. Like, there has to be a more simple explanation than all these stories and wooga, wooga, booga, juga. It's like the past graduating class, us, dropped into the 3rd density to assist the new graduating class to make sure they don't drive off a cliff into AI weird nerd land. I'm like, okay, got it. Is that all it is? You're like, that's it. So the same characters, different names. Yeah, same jackasses from Egypt, still down here doing weird shit. 5 names later, they're still in these groups doing weird shit. Got it. Punch me in, coach. You know what I mean? There's something there that's like in my, even as I say that, there's something in me that remembers who we really are and why we came here. So I'm not, like I said, there's a million different interpretations of reality. I just find it strange for how long we've been living in this unconsciousness that there aren't more people besides our family in these comments or who will watch these videos that actually operate in true integrity.
I agree.
The fact that it's rare is weird, dude.
Yeah, I agree 100%. One thing I wanted to bring up was, and if you guys haven't got to see Rion speak live, like if you think he's good on YouTube, dude, I got to see, again, for the people that are just joining now, like I was front row at the Full Disclosure Now conference because I was kind of like helping with the event, and and I interviewed a lot of the people there, but I hadn't interviewed Rion yet, so I wasn't sure of like what he would present. And I saw some of your stuff on YouTube, but then your presentation, dude, just blew me away. Like when you got into the energy and how our left side is like one side's sending and one side's receiving, I was like, whoa, this shit is like, it's like you could like your stuff's like other dimensional. I was like, this really is bringing the truth of like, and it's not just like surface level truth. It's like really dynamic shit that like people need to know. So thank you, man. Like I love that. Like, you know.
My thing is that if I can teach my friends and family how to operate energetically in this hologram, in this base reality, at least I'm giving you some of the tools or sharing you some of the tools, and that you'll make your own interpretations and then track back your own experiences in this incarnation and go, oh my God, that's when it attached to me. Or, oh my goodness, she was, you start making your own aha moments once someone hands you the blueprint. Like, nah, dude, this is how this operates. So, and again, with the stuff going on globally, ladies and gentlemen, I get it. I see the comments. There's a lot of craziness going on in Israel, and there's a lot of craziness going on in the Middle East. And what I'm getting to is truth about the true motivations behind the energies of some of these conflicts are going to come out and be exposed to the population.
Yeah, can I just say something to the chat real quick, guys? Like, you can argue with each other, but like, but arguing with each other is not going to get us anywhere. Let's try to be nice to each other and like figure out like let's try to figure out like ways to like talk to each other like nicely so we can like find solutions. Because when we argue with each other, that's what the controllers want. They want us to argue. They want us divided. They do it through every way. They do it through religion, sex, race, etc., etc. Like, you guys know that. You should know the blueprint by now. So whatever's happened in Israel, if we're in America, Canada, we don't have much control over it, but we can try to think about solutions. I do have a friend in Israel, and I'm half Lebanese. I'm not Muslim Lebanese. My family was Christian Lebanese, but I'm so like my heritage is from that area. But I just I didn't like when Hezbollah went into Lebanon, because I saw what the Muslims kind of did to Syria and Lebanon. They kind of drove the Christian people out of there, and I'm not Christian now. I'm more spiritual. This is just what I saw, but I grew up like so yeah, it's crazy. But I think we should all just try to get along. You know what I mean? I think we need to find solutions. I don't know.
Right, and as someone who goes into old battlefields, and that's part of my occupation for about 5-10 years was really just old battlefield cleanups. Creating a present moment where we don't have a ton of collateral damage to have to later go back and clear would be awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like, create a space, a time where we can all come together and be unified is going to be the greatest source of our power. And that's a global thing. And that's what the the dark cabal and all these turds truly fear, is mankind and womankind and humankind coming together as one in a unity consciousness reality. Because then we would see all of these charlatans for who and what they really are. And that's what they fear. They fear all of us unifying and going, we don't need you. We don't need to be a part of your system. And I think a part of a lot of these cities of lights of the future and some of the technology I'm working on right now to assist our family is really almost like our own breakaway society. Like, how do we create our own, the golden age? Well, I can tell you it's probably going to start in small little cities of light around the planet. And within those walls, we keep the vibe super high and we keep out all this weird nerd, agendas from our space, and I think that just having that as a vision, people talk about it all the time, buying farmland with their friends, growing their food, you know what I mean? Solar, off-grid water, just living peacefully with nature as God intended. It's not saying you can't be advanced. It's just saying that we do, to not be controlled by some, imaginary hand, which is not imaginary once your third eye turns on. It's very crystal clear of what's going on. It's just that, stepping out of these agendas and back into your heart and back into peace is literally what is most paramount right now. And I know as we even create this broadcast and send these shockwaves across the planet, we want peace on this planet, and we know the Rothschilds came in there and purchased Israel a long time ago and they have the paperwork and all this weird shit. Listen, these families gotta go, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
They gotta go. Stop fighting each other. Go. These families that make money off both sides of war, right? This military-industrial complex that gets paid every single time you shoot a rocket. These groups gotta go. And I'm gonna be completely clear. If we do get contact, or when we get contact, And I've been down here for quite some time monitoring and observing every single life form I have bumped into, every single broadcast, every single place I have visited. I can explain something very crystal clear to you. If there is some sort of a realization when they ask me specific questions, hey, what's been going on down there? I have a laundry list of everything I've experienced on this planet. You know, and imagine you, even when you incarnated here, you were Creator's little temperature gauge to see what was going on in the third density. So I would be very, I would pay attention to how, people are utilizing their influence over others and do no harm to others. I like Sean's, comment, do no harm, but take no shit. I do agree with that.
I love that.
We're here to help people and raise them up and teach them how to do cool things, meditate, do some Jedi stuff, interact with your higher selves, get back into your soul purpose. The rest of this shit is a shitty commercial that honestly the Galactic Federation of Worlds should have stepped in about 17 years. I mean, I don't know. This whole
I got a question for you about that.
Do you
I
feel
just like the ETs are like. Do you think the ETs are like you are like a Earth F that noise? You know what I mean? Like they're because they see how crazy we are. Or you like, what do you think's going on with that? Like,
no, it's brainwashing, dude. So the whole thing is like, if a lot of us have this virus, this lower dimensional belief system, the issue is that how do you, without non-intervention, interact with the lower dimensional, lower consciousness civilization that is used to warring with one another?
Yeah.
And then how do you actually step in there and assist them without actually stepping over the non-intervention clause, right? And actually just going, hey guys, this is what's going on. What kind of rubs me the wrong way is that, how the Germans got away with it, becoming besties after World War II, the Admiral Byrd thing, they became besties with the reptilians, then Draconians. They got off-world technology. They got to the moon first. And all this shit, no disrespect, but I just feel like whoever was in charge of this territory to think that the Nazis were the best representation of humans on this planet is absolutely batshit, and they have an off-world negative agenda. I think that the true embodiment, the love, the heart, and the compassion of the people of this planet is so divine that they have to try so hard to dim our lights. It's like even how they want a human being or you to think about yourself. I just, even right now, I mean, go on Instagram, everyone's altering this or altering that and this and that. My thing is that it's in our subconscious to think that we're not good enough, when in all reality, we're some of the most beautiful divine beings in the universe. To be able to put up with this bullshit, still wake up with a smile on your face, take your dog on a walk and stay in a good mood. Like it's literally magic. It's a miracle what some of us are doing every single day. Right now in Carolina, there is someone up there in a mountain village, right, or mountain town that's been totally washed out, who's sitting there on the deck, like cooking some, I don't know, so, heating up some garbanzo beans with their neighbors, just like, can you believe this shit? Still positive. Someone's playing a banjo right now, like, let's get it. Like, there's still positive shit going on down here. I just, you know what I mean? I can't do this negative Debbie Downer shit. It's like, someone take the microphone away from these guys. I can't watch it. And all this little end game and all these little weird political things. It's like, we're bored. I just want to say something with you guys. I love you. I support you. God supports you. Your heart supports you. Your friends and family are first. Take care of one another, and everything else comes second. Your vibration and who you truly are and how you're meant to shine on this planet comes first. Don't let anyone dim your light because they can't take how bright you are. That's all I like to say. Never make an apology for shining your light across this planet. Like, there is no apology needed. Become that light and become a true reflection of Creator in the flesh. That's what our job is. So that's what I'd like to say,
One thing I wanted to bring up is you're having an event like next year, right? It's when I watched your video with Sean Bond today, which was amazing, by the way. That was like two legends getting together and like talking like serious like multi-dimensional solutions, so everybody go check out that interview. But I saw at the beginning you have an event coming up March 25th to the 29th. Is that what it is?
Yeah, no, so it's March 28th, so March 29th, March 30th, 2025. It's called the Rise of the Guardians Conference in Sedona, Arizona. And if you guys look on my screen right now, teamlight.com, there's a link there where you guys can buy tickets, but it's March 29th and March 30th. And then I have post-conference March 31st and April 1st workshops. Sean's has a workshop. His beautiful lady, Isa, is speaking. We're trying to, I might extend it to a Friday, Saturday, Sunday function, just depending on how many awesome speakers we have. I know my brother Emery was thinking about being a special guest. I have a lot of people that, Emery Smith, I have a lot of people that I'd like to invite. And here's the thing about this. What is this really? This is the Marvel team up. Like, this is a Marvel team up of everyone. And like I said, Rob, you're definitely invited. This is a Marvel team up. And, we have a galactic prom dance Saturday night. I rented out the entire gymnasium. So many people that never experienced prom, or maybe now you're married with your wife and you're like, that'd be really cool. Like, we never went to prom together, I'm creating galactic prom for you guys. Like, we got Leo King coming in from Cali to DJ for us. I got after hours parties scheduled for you guys. The whole thing's catered. I kept the price very, very reasonable at $299 right now for a ticket for the weekend. Why? I want my family there. I want you guys to hang out with us, do workshops with us, hang out with your family. And listen, by March, we may have a lot more disclosure. In March, it may be post RV. In March, what is this really? A meeting. I want to know who you guys are. I want to know what gifts you want to bring forth to this world. I want to know you. I want to meet you. I want to interact with you. And if there's things that our team here at Team Light can assist you with to, process your reality faster or create tools, right? Some of the stuff we create at teamlight.com and teamlightstore.com to help you with your third eye, to help you access higher dimensions, to help you remember your dreams, or to shield you from some of these negative frequencies. You guys can find it there. My thing is it's a team huddle. It's a family team huddle, and that's what's up. So if you guys are hearing this, get your tickets now, pre-sale, plan your thing. I created a Telegram group for you guys that once you get your tickets, you get access to a Telegram group, and then you guys can all contact one another, figure out rides, maybe splitting an Airbnb, all this stuff. That's what it is. So I think this whole energy is going to calm down around then. I was going to have a conference in November, and I didn't. My guides are like, nope. They're like, nope. They're like, March. So, with our intuition and everything that's going on, we know we're going into some sort of a turbulent thing, especially in the States with the election coming up.
Yeah. Exactly,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This whole thing is based upon that. Many things are based upon that. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and we still have like maybe 10 minutes. I wanted to just see if you could go into real quick what you talked about at the conference with the energy sending and receiving, if you don't mind, because I think that's really important. And it's really interesting too. And it shows how we interact like multidimensionally and energetic with each other.
100%. So, okay, so really simply, even though I am left-handed, for all my fellow lefties out there and ambidextrous people, okay, even I do it this way, but your right hand is your sending hand. That's how you send energy, okay? Your energy fires through your bone marrow from your solar plexus, your whole energetic neurological system. The energy or the chi flows through your bone marrow and it exits right here on your right hand, okay? Right here where it's the most ticklish. Now, what do your fingers do? Your fingers were meant to direct the current of the chi that's coming out of your palm, right? For all my fellow Mu or Archangel Michaels out there with that big M on your hand, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so what I'm trying to say I'm looking at the camera. I'm like, shit, that couldn't be more obvious. Okay, So pinky is earth, index water, middle finger is fire. That's when you give someone the bird, you're giving them the fire. Pointer finger is wind. So basically all of your fingers, right? So your thumb is intent. What do I want to do with all of these? So if I go like this, what element am I calling forth? Pointer is wind. Wind, right?
Yeah.
Middle finger, fire. Index, water. Pinky, earth. Okay. Cool. Okay, so I don't want to go into the whole, because I now you're getting me warmed up to like, let me teach you some things. Okay, so the main thing is that your right side sends energy out, your right hand and your right foot. Your left hand receives. receives. If you want to think about your right hand, push. You want to think about your left hand, pull. Pull. Right? As you do this, like, and by the way, you got to do the ET hands, right? It's not like pull, it's like pull. So when you're pulling with something, it's like right here, imagine like a Spider-Man net or a web wrapping around something. Once you lock it, pull. That's how you pull things through dimensions, or you pull things through walls, okay? Okay. Listen, I don't have a filter, bro. Dude, yeah, I don't have a filter. This is how we grab it. This is how we grab jackasses. And then you hook them, right? Remember to hook the ankle, okay? So when you hook or grab a cable, watch my hand. Pinky comes down, that's your ground, right? You hook underneath the cable, you stabilize it with your water finger, right? So hook. And then the fire finger locks it. Your middle finger locks. That's how you grab a cable, or if you're pulling things off of people, just remember, like I said, I'm on autopilot, so my hand, I already go automatically into it. But it's interesting to explain what my hands are doing, okay? To drill through a dimension, it's this. So here's the fingers. So it's here. You got wind and fire here. And there's a rotation to it. So I don't want to confuse people with the clockwise, counterclockwise right now, especially on these cameras, because I don't know if it's backwards or whatever. But to go in is clockwise, to pull out is counterclockwise. Now, again, yep. So to go in is clockwise, to grab and pull out is counterclockwise. Same thing when you're going inside. If you're a Reiki master and you have a wand or something and you're trying to pull something out, clockwise, clockwise, clockwise to go in, remove, whatever it is. Now remember, counterclockwise, counterclockwise, seal. Whenever you guys open a door, whenever you guys do a healing, and you remember to close the doors when you're done working. Don't leave the doors open. That's what I'm trying to say. If you guys are like practicing energy manipulation in the backyard and you're dancing and you're unconsciously opening wormholes and sending a bunch of energy out, when you're done with your practice, close the doors. That's something I just want to be real. Close the doors. Make sure you remember. And the visualization is really simple for me. Imagine we're in the desert or on the beach and I'm opening a wormhole and boom, the energy's flying out, right? When I'm done, counterclockwise, slow it down. And then when I just imagine like your hand on sand, like there's, like you have like a bunch of lines in a spiral on the sand. When you close it, imagine you taking your hand and dragging it across the sand. Close. As if it never was. Boom, like so just like you swept it, like close the door. I'm saying that for you guys. Some of you guys are super advanced and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But just remember to close the doors when you guys are done opening or closing wormholes. Wow. just the fact that's coming out of my mouth. When you're opening or closing wormholes, make sure to close the door. That's I couldn't be more real. Like if I was on a starship right now, I'd say the exact same thing to the students in the classroom. I'm like, make sure you close those wormholes. So yeah, there's different layers of this and different conscious levels. A lot of the stuff I talk about is referencing if your third eye is open. Then you're starting to see the energies or the auras or the cables or the grid points or your higher selves. But you got to open the door first. If you just hear me speak, you know what I mean? It's like trying to explain what the sky looks like to a blind person who's never seen the sky. It's blue. And he's like, I see the shadow. I don't see anything. So remember, some of these skill sets take time to develop and be easy on yourself, because we've had a lot of, from as soon as we got here on this planet, they're shooting us with weird stuff. Our food's poisoned, the air, the water, the calcificate, the fluoride in the toothpaste. How many times we go to our teeth clean when we were 16 and they're giving us fluoride things. Bite on this. Your teeth's going to be white, but we're going to shut your third eye for your whole incarnation. Here, bite down. So what I'm getting to, there have been literal things to shut this off. So I'm just trying to say, as a messenger down here, do the due diligence, detox that suit. Skate liver oil, which is a bottom feeding shark. Skate liver oil is good for decalcifying your pineal gland. sun charging every day. You guys, all my people know what's up. They can put in the comments all the detox things to get the heavy metals out of your body, get the processed plastics out of your body, anything to make your engine or your vibration go up. Our gifts work when we operate at a higher oscillation or vibration. Okay? So what I'm just trying to say is you can't throw diesel in a Daytona 500 race car. What happens? You need super unleaded rocket fuel in that car for it to go 200 miles an hour. You can't put diesel in it. So in the same way, realize how you're treating your vessel and try to keep it high vibe. That's all I'd like to say.
Oh, dude, I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, but do we have time to take maybe one or two fan questions from my audience or your audience?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Let's get it.
If you guys have any questions for Rion, put them in the chat now. I'll try to pick the best ones from his chat or my chat. And we thank you all. We got between both chats, we got 191 people watching and over 30 people watching on Facebook. So that's a good group. That's a good amount to say we can start, changing things here, or changing the world. And that's the whole point. We want to start changing the world, with our actions, And
Gina, your answer, I like the Celtic sea salt. And I don't know if you guys know the deal with the Himalayan pink salt.
I use that. Is that bad?
Okay, so no. If it's real Himalayan salt, you're good. What happened was there was some brand that was being sold at Costco that said pink salt, and they didn't tell anyone that it wasn't the real Himalayan pink salt. So for me, I switched to Celtic sea salt, I don't know, about 6 months ago. It feels a lot better on my body, to answer Virginia's question.
Yeah. You can do magic with salt. Like, I'm talking white, not nothing dark, but like white magic. Like, I've learned a small spell where you can like transmute salt into help you manifesting money.
You can draw lines across doorways. Like, hey, nothing negative gets in this room. There's all kinds of things. We're the salt of the earth, right?
Yeah.
Human beings supposed to be the salt of the earth. So yeah, salt's very important.
Erica says she's only attending if it's an 80s themed prom.
Yes, I told Leo King, my brother David Palmer, it's going to be remixed 80s songs.
So it'd be like house music with like 80s.
So it's like, sweet dreams of but it's like, made of these.
Oh, that's so
dope, they have like the remix. Listen, I love it all. So, and it's going to be, red carpet. You guys, I'm making this thing look pro for you guys. Show up with your partner, show up with your loved ones, show up with your friends. I'm here. I want everyone to shine. That's my MO, dude. I want everyone to be awesome and shine. Like straight up, there is no top. Team Light in general in factual reality is a round table. There is no point in this thing. We are all independent generals, awesome light workers, lovers, light workers. You know what I mean? Together. We work together. So Team Light is a round table. Go ahead.
This is a question from Raya. She says, is sleepwalking related to the paranormal? I can put it up on the screen too.
Yeah, put it up. Okay, great. Is sleepwalking related to the paranormal? Let's think about this. I believe sleepwalking is almost like you are operational in, like, say, the fourth dimension, maybe the fifth dimension, and there's something going on where your body doesn't know the difference, and you're getting up and walking around actually operating in another reality while you're actually, instead of being in bed like your body's supposed to shut off, you're actually taking your body with you. So I believe that it's actually probably something to do with someone actually being a multidimensional being, honestly, and just learning what that is, because you're basically, your body's starting to do it, on its own. It's not staying in bed. It's starting to move around and being more operational in another dimension. But I do think that sleepwalking can be dangerous. So to pay attention to that. For me, for example, I don't think I can sleep on a bunk bed, and I have a really hard time sleeping in a hammock when I'm camping. I'm constantly rotating and rolling out of bed. So for me, it's like, it's not even worth it. I'd rather sleep on the ground. I move around a lot when I sleep.
Would you think like sleepwalking could be signs that you're going astral? Like someone's...
No, that's what I'm saying. I think you're operational in the fourth dimension or fifth dimension, and your body's actually starting to move. Like you're animating your physical body, and it's following wherever your energy, your mind's operating in. That's what I'm saying. That's what I meant. I'm like, you're getting on a transport, and your body like sits up. It's like, you're like Weekend at Bernie's, you're like, hey, I'm coming too. And it's like, you're like walking into a wall and shit. They're like, oh my God, put your body to bed. You're like, I can't go through the wall, sir. Yeah. I mean, I think that's what it's like. Weekend at Bernie's shit. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I remember Weekend at Bernie's. I'm an 80s kid.
Yeah, no, you're going full Weekend at Bernie's. That's sleepwalking. Yeah.
Oh, dude! We got some good questions. These are from your people too, so this is good stuff. Thank you. And this is from My Healing Heart. She says, "What light language is clicking? I was just activated and did it as a child. Couldn't find any info yet." And
I think clicking is like almost like when you guys, when you're sending binary code, or when you're sending, almost like when they did the telegraph, pop, 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 pop. Like they're sending information, right? And then it, click, and then you do the first radio or whatever it was. Wasn't it called a telegram when you're sending SOS or SOS? Yeah. I think it's data packets that you're absorbing or accessing, and you're hearing clicks to separate the data packets. So it's not actually clicking per se being the language. It's almost telepathic. Information. Next segment, information. It's actually breaking the pattern as the data is transferring up and down your crown chakra, your throat chakra. I don't think it could be per se a vibrational language, but I do think that, obviously there are tribes in Africa that still speak with the clicking, they can speak in that language. I forget what movie I saw, but
there are tribes that do talk.
Yeah,
like
that still speak.
It's not even light line. I've seen that. It's amazing, right? It's like
100%. And they know exactly what's going on, and it's probably very quick. It's probably like math. It's like on the left, up the tree, there it is. Boom, boom. Boom. It's a very fast data transfer.
Can you imagine how precise each click has to be to get some kind of like...
I think a lot of these tribes, and I remember I've watched videos where a lot of the native people, they're so in tuned with nature that they're almost telepathic, and then they're telling you what's going on, but 80% of what's going on is telepathic. They're watching the animals, they're watching the sky, they're watching the hunt, which way the bees are flying. It's a very conscious communication. It's not primitive at all. It's very high speed.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, the gods must be crazy. Yeah, Brad. Yes, the gods must be crazy. Yep, that was the movie.
Jennifer P. I haven't heard this yet, but Jennifer P. says, Rion, could you please tell us about the airport dreams again?
Okay, so I got it. So listen, so when you guys are doing, especially when these ships showed up about 9-10 days ago, so a lot of us are doing training on ships right now, Andromedan ships. This is what I mean. So your human brain, since you got here, was governed and engineered consciously to show you in this density what all of these objects are, so you feel familiar. So like when you look at a coffee cup, your brain goes, that's a coffee cup. You put coffee in it. Coffee tastes like this, right? It gives you an order and operation of every single physical object in your reality. So it makes you, so you can interact with it, let's just say. Now, in dream time, in the fourth dimension or fifth dimension, if you're coming out of your body, which every single person does every night, and you're interacting in a higher dimension where you're actually going through a wormhole, getting on a Starfleet, right, drop ship, and they're taking off like Halo, you can't tell your little dumb 3D brain what's going on. Your brain can't process it. It doesn't have the data or experience saved in your molecular structure in the physical plane of existence. Thus, what it does is it'll give you a dream. I'm at the airport in Florida, and I can't find my bag. Has anyone seen my bag? Has anyone seen my bag? I'm late for my flight. I'm late for the train. That's how it processes down in the physical plane. They're not going to show you getting on, making an experience that you've never had in the physical. So your brain does the best job it can in translating that information to you. But yeah, most people that are having dreams of getting on a flight or being late for a flight or being on a flight, that's not a 3D airplane you're on. But that's the visual your brain's going to give you, to answer your question.
Wow. This one's from Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot. He says, what do you think about burning salt to remove negative energy? Do you think that works?
I think salt, I like to do, some of the best adaptations I saw was like, I think you putting salt in water, in the house and letting it absorb all the negativity, maybe a way to do that. Burning salt, I'm not sure if that's, safe per se to breathe in, but I'm not saying it's a potential. I always thought that using salt to put in water, it absorbs all the negative, stuff. And then you can dump the water out, or creating salt to create barriers. But like I said, as far as burning something, I would burn white sage. I'm Native American. Whenever the weird energy in my house gets too weird, I call it the sage bomb. I get a whole stick of sage, which we actually have on teamlight.com. If you guys want some, we get the white sage from the Dakotas. Basically, I take the sage, I light it on fire, and it's smoking. I go right in front of a fan that's like on high, and I literally just sage bomb the whole room. Like, wah! I'm lazy. I'm like sage bomb. I ain't got time to walk. I got the fan on turbo, and I'm just saging the whole place with like a blower. I'm like, no. So as of late, I did sage my entire house probably like 4 or 5 days ago. It's important when you sage the house to go into the closets, go into the shower, go into the drawers, go into all the places that usually you don't get to when you're saging. And the main mantra is clear, 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 clear. You need to say those words while you're saging. Clear, clear. It's like an alarm. Clear. So all of your energy, all of your intent is to clear the negative energy out of your space.
Can you use Palo Santo too? Because I have Palo Santo.
100%. Palo Santo is honest, but I like Palo Santo as kind of like, so shit's popping off, sage. Okay, number one, sage. Okay, it's not popping off, but you need to clear some weird dreams. Then I use the dragon's blood and sage sticks.
I love dragon's blood.
I get from Fred Saul. Level up from that, Palo Santo. Level up from that, when the frequency's really good, I use frankincense and myrrh to lock the high vibe into the house. Frankincense and myrrh is not to clear a space. Frankincense and myrrh locks the frequency or energy in the space once you have it where you like it.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, and I'll do let me see. I'll do one more question. This
Blackfoot and Chickasaw, Brandy.
Oh,
Blackfoot
cool.
and Chickasaw. Yep.
Jared says, besides detoxing, is there anything else you could recommend to open the third eye? I know you said you did like a candle meditation or something like that. Right?
Decalcifying the third eye. Yeah. So once you go through the detoxing and all that stuff, really sun gazing in the morning, or, a sunrise or sunset helps. Your cell phone does not work if you don't charge it. I noticed that 10, 15 minutes of just being out in the sun and, doing that safely. There's plenty of videos out there to show you how to sun gaze safely. So, the sun gazing and the detoxing the heavy metals and the fluoride out of your body. And then obviously my candle technique, the original one, which can be found on Unite the Collective on YouTube. I will be redoing, we have a new app coming out on Team Light soon. We're working on it, but I will be reshooting some of the original instructional videos I did and try to explain it in a much deeper way. What's going on. The reason why I like the old videos, because that's like someone who just woke up, because I just woke up. So that's how I would explain it to someone if I just woke up. I'm like, I don't know what you're going to see. There's things you're going to, the way I explain it was very beginner. If I do it now, it's going to sound like, like, come on, people, get it together. Putting your third eye on. So I want to do it in a very educational, balanced way. And I do want to remake that video for everybody.
What do you feel about, I know we can't I don't promote psychedelics in any way, but what do you think about people who might use psychedelics to try to open up their
okay,
eye?
So listen, doing different... Go ahead.
Sorry, I felt like I had a Kundalini experience off shrooms, and it was an accident. Mm-hmm. I mean, it didn't mean to happen. It kind of just happened. You know what I mean? Like,
you didn't inhale? You didn't inhale?
I took the shrooms.
You put the joint in your mouth. And you're like, I didn't inhale. I didn't inhale. I don't know what you're talking about. I put an eighth of shrooms in my mouth, but I didn't know. No, I'm just kidding. What was going to happen? No. Listen, it's okay. You did shrooms. Okay. You did some shrooms. Okay, listen. We've all done different medicines. First of all, they're different medicines. Natives around the planet have when they do ceremony, they use different medicines. Whether that be ayahuasca, whether that be mushrooms, whether that be, goodness gracious, not Palo Santo, but whatever from the... Peyote, whatever it may be. Okay, so here's the thing. Using different medicines gives you access to different frequencies. Say the word psilocybin.
Psilocybin.
Psilocybin gives you access to the roots That's when you do shrooms. It's a heart opener, but it gives you access to the, say it again? Psilocybin reality. Okay? Nature, feeling connected to Mama Gaia. Now, ayahuasca launches you vertical. That you're going to see, it's almost like a DMT trip. You're about to see some shit when you do ayahuasca. And the same thing with peyote, you're not signing up for, a brief entourage. You do some serious peyote, you need to get a motorhome and go park out somewhere for 2 days and just relax, okay? It's not something that you're like, hey, I'm going to go to work tomorrow. After I take this peyote. Everyone's like, you ain't going nowhere, kid. Like, I think you're like, your brain's just like, what is happening? Yeah, so be careful what medicines you guys are doing out there. So, just remember, each medicine gives you access to a different level of reality or frequency. Okay? So, if you want a visual thing, stick with certain medicines give you different visuals. Now, this is what I'd like to say. Everything in moderation, and what I can say at the higher levels, this is what you want to practice. Once you've done, say, DMT or some of these other medicines out there, you don't have to keep retaking the medicine to have the same effects. What happens is you get into a place where you go back into the memory when you were on psilocybin or on ayahuasca or DMT and you saw the whole reality start to fractal out, right? Or it could be whatever your choice. You go back into that molecular memory of what you experienced with your eyes closed and then try to get back into that frequency naturally. So you don't have to worry about a hangover. You don't have to do all the other things that come along with that. And like I said, that takes time and practice. But what you don't want to do is, or try not to do this, is only have a spiritual experience when you're on a drug. The point is, go out in the sun, breath work, very serious breath work can pop your DMT too. So it all depends on how you guys want to interact and what realities you wish to partake in. And I would just say that you already have your foot in the door if you have tried some of these things, but to do it naturally is going to be your best outcome for a long-term growth.
Yeah, I love that. Wow, this is an amazing interview. You made me laugh so hard. I mean, like you talk about some really serious stuff, but then you know how to mix it up with humor too. That's just why I love your conversations, man. That's why I love your presentation too, because you did that at the presentation, and that's what people love. That stuff, man. You have a really good knack for it. You're good at this. I know it's like kind of like your mission. It is your mission. You're sent here obviously for a reason, but like you're actually very good at this as well. It's enjoyable. It really is.
Well, I appreciate you. And here's the whole thing, when you can actually take a pretty gnarly subject and you kind of get to extract the truths from it and then put it into a way that's comedic where everyone can understand, then you've truly understood what it is. You know what I mean? Like it takes time to be upset, see something and yell about it, right? Okay, that's a certain level of consciousness. To see something, process it, and then view each side of the equation which created that, okay, that's another higher level of consciousness. Now, to see the whole thing and start making jokes and where everyone sees how ridiculous it is and everyone's laughing at it instead of fearing it, that's mastery. That's mastery. You're like, oh, we're doing this again. Here we go. I mean, I don't know. You get it to a place where you can break it.
Laughter's medicine, right?
100%.
Laughter's medicine.
Yes, it raises your frequency when you laugh. So, and that's high vibe. So we've gone through, listen, I could not have done the comedic version, 6, 7, 8 years ago. I was still very serious about it. And I'd like to say this, coming out of the density or the unconsciousness is kind of like being an alcoholic and joining AA. In the very beginning, even like the conspiracy stuff, right? So let me walk you down this path. So spirituality, consciousness, and ascension, right? It's kind of like when you're unconscious, it's kind of like you're partying every day. Let's just say you go to AA, you're an alcoholic, you get forced to go there, right? And by the way, I love AA and everyone on the path. Get your chips. I love it. I'm just trying to say this is my example. When you do the AA thing, when you walk in there the first day, you're just hearing everyone's horror story of how they got court ordered to go sit in AA, and all the people that have been sober for 10 or 15 years, are kind of scared straight when they sit in those classes because they hear how horrible it was of the new people coming in. I know people don't talk about that. How do you stay sober for 15 years? Like, well, go to an AA meeting and hear about somebody who just wrecked their car and flipped it last night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
So, for real. That's, especially NA, all this stuff is even crazier. So as you kind of like go through this unconsciousness thing where you get comfortable being in your own reality, processing your own emotions without trying to numb it down, you kind of make your way into, hey, I'm cool with having a smoke and a coffee and a cookie. And then after a while of doing that for about a year, like, hey, I'm going to go to the gym after my cookie, my smoke, and you kind of get your tribe. I'm going bowling, man. Friday nights, we're going bowling, bro. You kind of get the, hey, listen, I've gone through this shit. So this ain't so freaking, I'm telling you, right?
I feel you, man.
Hey, it's time for, let's go bowling, baby. I got my team. So you kind of go through and get higher and higher into this, place of stability. You kind of undid all this stuff. You work through a program, and now you're up and out of this place. Then a lot of people, too, they try to go into the religion thing, which is awesome. Whatever it is for you that makes you happy, that's a good person, cool. But as you keep going above that, you start observing your entire life as why I made that choice. Who was behind the wheel? What motivation was that? What kept me from my sole purpose? You start asking different adult, multi-dimensional questions. And that's where a lot of us are going, right? We're going beyond what it is to be a successful 3D person. No, I'm like, how do I graduate from 3D to 5D and beyond? How do I go do a 3D to 7D jump action? So as you keep going, you keep stacking that Dharma, as you keep working through the levels, that's where your light really starts to shine, because you start, people that have gone through different things that you have, you can try to steer them around these potholes. Like, for example, I didn't know I was a full-blown empath. I didn't know I could feel everything around me. I wanted to numb myself so I could fall asleep at night, 21 to 25. No one told me, 2001, you're an empath. That's why you want to drink or put yourself to sleep with the heaviest downers you could get your hands on. No, I was trying to tank myself. I'm feeling too much. I'm in zombie land. What am I doing here? No one knows what the fudge is going on. Let me just down myself and trank myself. People are doing it right now in their 20s. Yeah. The truth is, once you realize, I'm here to master these emotions, master what it is within myself, balance myself, and then at one point in my life, that anxiety will eventually leave me, because I realize that it's for our abilities to feel all of these things also gives us the abilities to change all of these things that we are feeling. It's both. So it's very interesting. There was no tutelage. There was no information for us. Let me tell you guys, I made the first How to Astral Project video on YouTube in 2009. I searched everywhere. How to astral project. Niente. I was like, I had to make my own. All it was buy my CD, buy my book. There was no like, stare at a candle. Let me help you. I don't know really what's going on here, but this is how I do it. It was very simple. But I'm trying to say each and every one of you guys has a gift. Each and every one of you has gone through trials and tribulations. I'm right there with you. But I'm trying to say is stay on the path and keep putting one foot in front of the other, especially right now. Now is not the time to sit idle. Now is not the time to stare at your phone and go into Debbie Down fear land. Now is the time for action and to take action in creating the reality we want, brother.
Yeah. Wow. This was amazing, man. Thank you so much. This was awesome. Do you want to tell everybody where they can find you? And thank you, man. This was amazing.
Absolutely, bro. Hey, I love you. So teamlight.com for all the events and links to the Team Light store. Just go to teamlight.com and check out all of we have things. I mean, you guys, this is real. This is not, I know it's not a green screen. This is a real thing. So this is a plasma. This has a Kesh engine inside of it to emit plasma, and it has a PEMF coil in it, so I can put whatever frequency I want, 528 hertz, whatever I want, whenever I want, can vibrate through my entire room or my house. So yeah, check that out at teamlight.com. The new Brahma lamps and Triforces with the PEMF are ready to go. It comes with a Bluetooth amp You just Bluetooth right into it, play any frequency you want through it. Those are the sundials. These are on sale right now. This is the fall sale. All of our gifts that are over $100 even, they come with free gifts. Like, for example, like you get a sundial, you might get a free EMF plate, for your Wi-Fi router to kill all the EMF, or even the smart meter. This thing, you hang this on the side of your house and it'll knock out the smart meter from waking you up at 3 a.m. Has a hook on the back. Yeah, so we'll talk more about that later. But yeah, teamlightstore.com or teamlight.com. Click the link, shop now. The bed sets are awesome. You put this underneath your bed. This Giza bed set, aligned with your spine, underneath your upper back. Comes with 4 grids, and you can get the grounding cable. It plugs into the house ground. It runs pyramid energy through your bedroom, but it also pulls the magnetism from the house ground or the apartment or condo or house you're in, and it pushes chi through your body. So energetically, what it's doing is it's pushing your energy body up to at least sit up in your body. So a lot of you guys feel like you're trapped in your suits. This will help push you up and hopefully help you guys remember more of your dreams and whatnot. And then the black roses, they have something not only for the shungite and black tourmaline, okay, that's for the EMF and to protect you guys, but these ones, the black roses have black kyanite. And for you guys living in dark, cities or big cities, the black kyanite is what you need when you're doing spiritual defense against the dark arts. Black kyanite. Just remember that. I get it from Brazil and Tucson. I buy it in huge trays, but black kyanite is one of the number one crystals you can get to fight off dark magic. Okay. Blue kyanite's good for, higher self-communication and for psychic protection, but black kyanite protects you from the lower weird stuff that's going on down here. I hope that helps.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because I felt at times I've had some weird energy sent my way,
Yeah, there's a sundial. You put that in your room, bro, and leave that on 24 hours a day. It's going to create like a buffer field around you. And that's what I mean, my whole house is like that. I don't allow the stuff in my space. It's oscillating.
Yeah, because, I do so many interviews. Like, I do so many interviews. I'm probably exchanging energy with so many people. It's probably like... You know what I mean?
A lot of traders and day traders and people that are online all day long, they put that by their feet. So they'll put this underneath the desk, under their feet, and they'll put their feet on it. So they'll be on their computers, and that thing's just on, creating a nice protective shield around you when you're interacting online. It helps a lot.
Wow.
That's the powered sundial. Yeah.
I'm gonna look at your store. I'm gonna get one of those. And thank you so much, man. I'd love to do this again. Like, dude, you're awesome. Thank you so much for everything you do. And this was awesome.
Hey, man, absolute pleasure. And for everyone out there on Earth, I love you very, very much. And just remember, we're all in this together. Like, we're gonna get through this storm together. So my love and prayer for everyone out there in the Carolinas and everyone, in Florida right now about, getting ready for this stuff. Just our love and our hope and our prayers go to you guys. And our Creator wishes only the best for each and every one of you.
I agree. And I'm Rob from the Typical Skeptic Podcast, guys. And, like and subscribe and share this out, whether you're watching on my platform or you're watching on Rion's, whether you're on my Rumble, and we're on Rumble right now. We're on Rion's YouTube. We're on Rion's Facebook, my Facebook. Share this with your friends, because that's how we're going to get this message out, and that's how we're going to change the world. So, yeah, and thank you so much. And I send the same, all the love to all the places that went through all this shit in the Middle East and everything. Hopefully we can find our way out of this stuff, guys. And I think we will. We just have to, and thank you, Rion, and thank you, everybody. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.